Let me show you easily the best very affordable mini smartphones that you can currently get. And over here we have the newest Q333 model with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage. So I have already used it for some time, and generally I think this is absolutely easily the best mini smartphone that you can currently get. So let's take it out of the box, remove the plastic. So I have used it for some time, simply put everything back as it was, just to demonstrate. Also we get this lanyard as well included, also our SIM tool here as well, and also our charger cable. So this uses the Type-C, and also inside the box we are getting a free screen protector as well, which is absolutely awesome, and a quick manual here as well. And the best part about this phone actually is a price suite. Personally, I got mine from AliExpress and literally paid only around $60 for mine, and that also is with free shipping. So if you also want to get for similar price, simply check out the special discount links in the description. Also, I'll probably manage to get some extra coupons you can use on AliExpress to bring this price down even further. For this price, for the spec and quality, you're getting also like fairly decent cameras. Yeah, I think it's pretty much impossible to actually beat this model. Also, in this listing you can also get the multiple different colors. Over here I have the silvery version, but they also have fully black one and also pink one as well. And let's check out the phone up close. As you see on the back of it, we actually get very nice carbon fiber back on it. It might appear we have two cameras, but actually only this top one is real. So this one is just for look, I guess. And also we have flashlight here as well. On the top, as you see over here, we have this like space where you can actually hang it in a lanyard as well. We have our power button here, also the volume buttons, and these buttons actually appear of fairly decent quality here. And we have our Type-C and also the speaker. Also the speaker quality is actually fairly decent on this phone. And we have our slot for the SIM card and also the memory card. So let's check what's actually inside here. Okay. So on this phone we can either use two SIM cards at the same time or one SIM card plus one memory card. On this phone we also get 3.6-inch display, which also appears actually fairly decent for its price. And just for comparison, here is 6.7-inch Samsung phone. So you see just how insanely small this phone actually is. So if you maybe position like this, so okay, maybe slightly taller, but as you see just how insanely tiny this phone is. And also if we compare to maybe like a Nokia dumb phone, so you see it's actually even smaller than the Nokia dumb phones. And over here I also have this another phone from this brand, this Soyes XS16. So you see it's actually a bit taller, but actually the screen area is way larger, and also the bezel size also is way better on this phone. So if you're wondering how this phone compares to this one, so over here I have the XS16, which also is probably one of the most popular phones from this brand. Then again, this completely destroys the XS16. Not only the screen is way better, also much better battery life, and I think like over 2 times more powerful CPU, more RAM, and also like way better cameras than on this one as well. So this is like absolutely insane upgrade over the other, basically probably the one of the most popular like mini Soyes phones. So yeah, if you are thinking between these two, then definitely there is no question. This is like literally 2 or 3 times better phone than this one. So let's quickly cover the specs on this phone more. So you see we get 2000 mAh battery, also again 4 GB of RAM with also decent storage. So on the rear we have 8 megapixel camera, so only this top is actually real camera. And on the front we get 5 megapixel camera, but actually when actually testing cameras on this one, I find the rear and the front performance pretty much the same, and can compare to the other like Soyes mini phone, the cameras are actually way better on this one. So also screen resolution over here, so it says almost 3.6-inch display and MT6762 CPU. So this actually is one of the better CPUs you can actually get in these phones. So basically the CPU in this one I think was literally like over 2 times slower than in this one, and you can definitely tell, whereas this one actually feels like kind of sluggish and it's absolute pain to use, this actually feels like very decent phone. So obviously it's not a flagship phone or like even like a mid-range phone, but when you actually use this phone it actually feels very solid, and you do not have actually much problems using it for normal tasks. So on this phone we also get the Android 12 system. So you see this is how it actually looks like over here. We have the different page over here. So it's essentially like normal Android phone. We have this custom launcher over here where we have all the apps here. So also we can like switch between the different apps here. So when it comes to apps, you can install pretty much anything here. So again, Android 12 system, so it's actually still much better. By the way, when it comes to the Android systems on these ones, so the cheaper ones, older ones, these only I think had Android 9. So again, there's actually quite significant jump. Also, yeah, when it comes to performance again, so it's actually miles better, and generally actually everything actually feels very like fluid on this phone, especially if you compare to the other like mini phones essentially. So you can download any apps here. Also, this has got 4G as well. Some of those other mini phones only has got usually like 3G. So if you are in one of the countries that do not have like the 3G anymore, then obviously those are pretty much pointless, whereas this one again, so we get like decent 4G modem in this phone here. So also, for example, WhatsApp actually works absolutely great. So you see, we can also like make video calls. So as you see, really no problems there. Also, let's maybe check out the game, how fast it actually loads. So just Subway Surfers. So you can even like play like basic games as well. Oh, also the screen display as well. So on this one actually, so again, in my opinion, it's absolute pain to use because the display is way too tiny. But this one I think is already like decent enough to be usable. So for like a normal decent phone essentially. So you see, obviously it takes quite a bit longer to load than like a normal phone, since again the spec isn't the best. But yeah, as you see, you can easily play even games here. You might see some stutter basically in some apps, but yeah, for the most part, as you see, actually works okay here. So let's check out typing experience. So when you're actually typing, okay, let me zoom in a bit. So you see, you can easily type on this phone, so without any problems at all. And let's check out the cameras on this bad boy. So again, on the front 5 megapixels and on the rear 8 megapixels. However, when you actually check the results, they appear pretty much the same quality on both on front and also rear. And also, especially again, I purchased this model exactly because again, I knew this actually has got probably one of the best like front-facing cameras. And actually, I use a WhatsApp a lot, make video calls. So again, I actually picked basically especially this model because I knew again this actually has got like a fairly decent like front-facing camera as well. So if we basically try to take pictures generally, so I think for very basic tasks this is maybe enough. So especially if you are viewing the image on the screen of the phone itself, you see also like decent enough exposure here. So obviously, if you compare to maybe like phones from other brands, then obviously this isn't as good. So again, we really have to consider what kind of technology this phone has. But just for casual needs, I think this is actually plenty enough really. So in this form factor, yeah, absolutely cool. So also, yep, again, out of all these phones, yeah, also like fairly decent selfie camera as well. So if you want to basically make some video calls with this one, you can definitely actually do it. So versus on this one again, so the front facing camera is absolutely terrible on this one. And when you actually make some video calls with this one, the other person can't even see what you actually look like when you actually use a front facing camera on this one. So this one, the front facing camera, I would say is literally like 5 times better than on those other ones. And if you're wondering about the video quality, so I have video here, I have recorded with it. And let's check out the camera performance on this phone. Also, it has got fairly decent microphones as well. As you see, definitely it's not very high-end, but just for basic tasks, actually still very plenty. especially if you use the footage on the phone screen itself. See, a decent enough exposure here. So yeah, actually for this price, so again, I think if you especially compare to the other Soyes phones, then again the camera performance definitely is way better than on the other ones. And when it comes to battery life, I'm also fairly satisfied actually with this small guy. So I have used it for a few days now, and generally, yeah, so actually the battery actually lasts quite a good time on this phone. So both standby and also when you use it. So I have done basically a few timer tests. So first I actually run some YouTube videos for 1 hour over the 4G. So again, over 4G actually, not Wi-Fi. And in basically 1 hour of YouTube playback on maybe like medium brightness. So essentially something like this, so maybe a bit less than half. So essentially then it consumed 17% to run, yeah, basically play a YouTube video for 1 hour. So I suppose on a full battery charge, maybe you could get like maybe 6 hours of like screen on time for watching YouTube videos. So for size, I think that's actually absolutely great. And also standby time also probably is actually super good on this one as well. So I simply left it aside while I had my mobile data actually on. And in basically like 24 hours of not using this phone, but still obviously data running in the background, it consumed only 8%. So essentially this can maybe last even like more than 10 days, so on a standby. So if you do not use it, simply leave it, but still obviously the data running in the background. So that's actually very impressive indeed. And overall, is the new Q333 actually worth it, and should you maybe get this phone? Well, I can highly suggest this one if you are looking for extremely small phone that still actually has got like fairly usable performance and can actually be used like normal regular phone, so without it actually being a gimmick. So this one's again the XS15 and 16 and some other ones with that very slow processors. I think these are mostly like gimmicks, so sure they are like very small, but for actual usage, if you actually wanted to use this normal phone, I think they're quite pathetic, let's be real. So it is what it is. But this one actually, it can essentially be used like a normal phone, and that's what I'm actually using it for. Also, maybe if you have some kind of internet addiction as well, so obviously the screen is way smaller on this one, and you simply won't be using it as much as like a normal phone. You simply won't get as much temptation as well for that purpose as well. I think this phone is absolutely fantastic. So the camera performance, obviously if you compare to maybe like low-end Samsung phones, regular ones, obviously they aren't like close to that, but just for video calls, just for like taking pictures, videos and viewing them on the phone itself, I think they're absolutely perfect, so can't really complain much, especially knowing the price of this phone. So also, by the way, this phone also goes under a few different brands. So basically the manufacturer is a Soyes brand, but they actually like to actually list them under a bunch of different brands. You might also see this under the Uniwa brand as well. Again, they are all the same phone, so it doesn't really matter which brand you purchase. So as long as it's this model Q333, then again, you're getting the same phone again. Oh, also, basically the Soyes brand also has recently released this BlueFox like phone NX1 essentially. So which actually is very similar to size of this one. So why I actually didn't got that one, but why I actually got this one? So actually due to the price, essentially this is like 2 times cheaper, and I would guess maybe like 90% as good as that one. So literally like around $60 if you follow the special discount links. So if you want to get this for that price, simply check out those special discount links in the description. Also, I will probably try to get some extra coupons from AliExpress that you can use to bring the price down even further. So the BlueFox model, I think with shipping here in Europe, if I basically checked, I think it was like over 100, so maybe like 110, 120 with shipping, so you actually had to pay shipping extra. On this one, again, free shipping, so essentially this is like 2 times cheaper. So with actually even like a better display on that one, we actually have like very stupid like dynamic island, which is absolutely like extremely stupid looking, and it covers the screen. But you see the screen actually is absolutely fantastic on this one. The camera quality on this one versus the NX1 BlueFox, I think would be pretty much the same. They claim that they have actually like Sony sensors in the BlueFox, but when I actually check the actual performance of the BlueFox phone, which costs 2 times more than this one, so the camera performance I think is identical. So yeah, you aren't actually getting like significantly better phone on that one, but again, so this is literally like 2 times cheaper and does really pretty much everything you want, and still actually has got like fairly decent quality. So again, out of all these cheap mini phones, so I think really at the moment this is by far the best you can get. Anyway, good luck.